Hey everybody, Jay Alexander and Rusty Cole here. We put a video up, I think, last week
It
talking
was
about
last week.
some interest rate buy downs, some different things that we can do to help people buy homes in the current market. Some good news, rates have actually come down a little bit since we
Yep.
spoke. We got a good jobs report, but still higher than what we're used to seeing. So, Rusty, what I wanted to do is I want to show everybody a spreadsheet that I put together, and we've actually put this together for one of your listings, but we
Yes, we
can run
did.
this on any property, anything that's out there at all and show people just some payment options and ways we can get them into the homes and still take advantage of lower rates and rate buy downs and things like that versus worrying about today's market rates.
And
Fair enough.
make it more cost efficient for a buyer to buy a house.
So let's jump right in it here. I'm going to share my screen. And there we go. Looks good. So this is a listing, Rusty, you have 9201 Brixton Court in Douglasville. List price is currently 449, and we're running these numbers, guys, for an FHA loan program. We can certainly do this on conventional or VA or any other loan products that are out there. But what we're doing is we're saying, okay, for an FHA loan today, and by the way, we've already discussed with this seller, and they're going to do a seller credit of $10,000, and then I'm throwing in an extra 1,000, so we've got
That's
$11,000
right.
in incentive. And if we finance that at just normal rates today, the 449 price that you see here on an FHA loan, let's say today's rate 7.75. Again, guys, your interest rate, you may not even go FHA. If you're going FHA, it may vary based off your credit score, things of that nature. But we're looking at a total monthly payment here of about $4,000 a month, okay, 39.32. Um, so, we have that as an option. And Rusty, a lot of times, I'm going to plug this in real quick. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, you're giving me $11,000. Let me just take it off the price of the home, right? People will say that, oh, let me get the
Yep.
home for cheaper. Well, if we do that and we go from 449, what's 11 grand off? 438.
That's correct.
So we go to 438 and you can say, okay, that saved us some money, right? We're at 38.38 where before we were at 39.32. So it saves us not even $100 a month, right?
That's right.
Can be done, but maybe not in the customer's best interest. Instead of taking it off the price of the home, let's look at some options if we do some rate buy downs. Fair enough?
I'm excited.
So I've got three options across your screen right here. And the first one that I want to start off with is the permanent rate buy down option. So now we're using this $11,000 to offset the customer's rate buy down, and we're buying them down from 7.75 to 6.75. Well, you can see right here, we were saving what, $98 a month before. Now we're saving $299 a month on the mortgage payment. So same $10,000 incentive. We're at the higher purchase price, but now with a permanent buy down, we're saving almost $300 a month. The total cost of this buy down, guys, we're estimating it at about 13,000. Yeah, we've got $11,000. We don't have quite enough money to pay for everything. You see here, I'm about $2,200 short. But that doesn't mean we can't do it. It just means it's money that maybe the customer has to come up with the table with. Maybe we know what we need to try to negotiate for. Maybe we bump the price another 2,000 or $3,000
Exactly right.
to
That
actually
would make
sell
it
it
easier.
for it.
Yep.
But you get the idea. We can save the customer permanently $300 a month. And now that's a whole lot better than the $98 we saved them by taking it off the sales price.
And
By
that's with a
taking
permanent buy down.
with a permanent buy down, we can take the money as a concession and or take the $11,000 as a rate buy down, permanently buy the rate down, save the customer almost $300 a month. Now, some people say, okay, well, that's too expensive, or I don't have to worry about coming up with the 2,200, or I wanted some money to go towards closing costs. No problem. Let's look at some temporary buy down options. Fair enough. So I've
Sounds
got
great.
three temporary buy down options here across the screen. We've got the 1.0, the 2.1, and the 3.2.1 buy down option. These rates right here, guys, it shows you the interest rate you would start at. So a 1.0 buy down, we start out 1 percentage point below the note rate of 7.75. So we start at 6.75. Now, like the name implies, this is temporary. You're going to get this lower payment. You're going to save the $300 a month for the first 12 months that you're in this home. And the way we explain that to customers is we say, okay, you're going to be in the home for the first year, the payment's going to be lower. Do you expect to have the same job a year from now? Do you expect to get a raise? Do you expect to make more money?
That's right.
Okay. Well, if you do, then this is a way to temporarily reduce your monthly payment, step into that mortgage payment, and then, hey, like we said, rates have already improved a little bit from our last video. If rates continue to go down and refinance in the next year, you got the benefit of having this lower payment for the first year. And we can always refinance you into a lower rate mortgage next year or the year after if the market gives us that benefit. This is a very inexpensive buy down. It only costs us about $3,500. And what that means is now you'll have $7,000, over $7,000 left over that we could apply towards closing cost or prepaid expenses. Maybe we use that money to ask for that price reduction. Lots of different things we can do with these
A
funds,
lot
but
of options.
we've got more money left over that we can apply to the loan. Something that I like even better though, because a 1-0 buy down, again, that's a short period of time. We're talking 12 months. The 2-1 buy down, we have enough money here. The 2-1 buy down is going to be right a little bit over $10,000. So we've got about $400 left over. So the 11,000 incentive does cover the entire cost. Now we start off at 5.75 for the first year. So for the first year, our customer is saving $586 a month on the mortgage payment. Then after 12 months, the payment will jump up to this payment right here because it jumps up 1 percentage point to 36.30, and then it will finally cap off at the 39.32. However, I'm willing to bet money that the majority of customers who close a loan right now are going to be refinancing out of that mortgage within 2 years.
I agree with
Okay.
that 100%.
Lots of reasons for that, guys. Again, we can do a whole nother video explaining why we think that's the case.
So just quick question. So
Absolutely.
the 2-1 buy down, your mortgage payment is right there.
Mhm.
That's the first year. The second year, 36.33.
Correct.
And then on the third year, it goes to the normal interest rate, which your mortgage payment would be 39.32.
That is absolutely correct. So it moves twice, moving up the chart here as as you're in the life of the mortgage. The other thing to know, though, guys, about this 1-0 or 2-1 or even the 3-2-1 buy down, which let's go ahead and discuss that now, just like the name implies, you start off 3 percentage points below. Now, this 3-2-1 buy down, it is certainly more expensive. You can see here, Rusty, the total cost of that one is $21,000. Maybe that's not the right product for this home with the incentive being offered. Again, maybe we can try to work out negotiation. Maybe the buyer can bring some of that money to the table to help make it work because we are about $9,900 short to be able to do the 3-2-1 buy down. Okay. And again, guys, the whole point of this sheet here is to be informational and know, hey, if I need a 3-2-1 buy down, then I'm either going to have to really negotiate or maybe this isn't the right property. I need to go find a property where they're offering a 15 or a 20 or a $23,000 incentive to buy the property. But again, the 11 is what is available on this particular property right now. But the way that works, again, just to go through the exercise here is you would actually start off at 4.75. You're saving almost $900, $860 a month for the first year, and then it goes from 3,074 to 3347 to 3633, and then in the fourth year it'll finally cap out at the 3932. And I think everybody in the real estate profession is very comfortable to say that you will not be through this entire 3-2-1 buy down before rates go down and you have an opportunity to
Exactly
refinance
right.
permanently into a lower rate from the 7.75. Now, the other thing that's really important that I think is a great feature about any of these temporary buy downs is the cost of this buy down, whether it's 20,000, 10,000, 3,500, 3,600, whatever it is that when you pay this mortgage off, either through a refinance or through selling the property, or you hit the lottery, decide to pay the mortgage off, whatever it is, you will see every single one of these dollars. Make sense?
That does
So,
make sense.
so what that means is if you've been in this loan for say 18 months and you haven't used the full $10,000 incentive, there's still say $3,300 or $4,000 left over. When you go to refinance this loan, that money is actually held in an escrow account and you will get that money back, or we can use that money to defray the cost of the refinance. It basically will be a principal reduction on the mortgage that you're paying off. Makes
Understood.
sense? So the beauty of the temporary buy down is that the customer is guaranteed to see every dollar of that the seller's paying as a benefit to their overall financial situation. The problem or the risk that you take with a permanent buy down that doesn't get explained enough. So, Rusty, we can do the math on this. We're saving, say, $300 a month, and I'm going to pull out my calculator, guys. We're saving $300 a month, but the cost of this buy down was a little bit over $13,000. So, if I do that math and I say $13,266, $226 divided by the $299 that we're saving per month, you have to be in this mortgage 44 months or over 3.5 years before this mortgage pays itself off.
Before it makes sense to do a permanent buy
That
down.
is correct. Now, we're saving $300 a month, and I love that. But the problem is that, say, 2 years from now, it makes sense if rates go to five. It doesn't matter that you bought your rate down permanently to 6.75. You're going to take advantage of the 5% rates and you're going to refinance. The problem in that scenario, though, is the bank won because the bank collected all this money from you up front to get that lower rate. And then you paid the loan off and didn't even take advantage of that lower rate because the market gave us a better interest rate sooner in the future. Makes
It
sense.
makes a lot of sense.
So there are times in the market where I think a permanent buy down makes a lot of sense. And the market that we're in right now, especially in a market where we're expecting interest rates to go down in the near future, I really think a temporary buy down makes the most sense for the average customer. Because again, it doesn't matter. You could do this 2-1 buy down, and it doesn't matter if you pay the loan off a month from now, 6 months from now, or you never pay it off. You still experience, you get to see every benefit. You will have $10,615 extra in your pocket that you would not have had without
You're exactly
you
right.
always are going to see every one of those dollars.
So in
Makes
other
sense?
words, if I do a 3-2-1 buy down, I refinance on the 11th month or 12th month, whatever funds are left over, if it's 10,615, that 10,615 goes toward my refinance. Or could I use that 10,615 to buy my new rate down more?
It's absolutely. It's just a credit or a principal reduction. You essentially would owe 10,000, or let's say you used 5,000 of it, you would have $5,000 that less that you would owe on the property. So it saves you that money. You're guaranteed to see the full benefit of that $10,000. It
But if
never goes away or
So if
goes
I
to the
did a
bank.
permanent rate buy down, the permanent rate buy down cost me 13,226, and that just saves me 1%. But if I did a 3-2-1 buy down year number two, I'm still 2% below what the current rate was when I purchased a property. So in year number two, I do a refinance. I have several thousand dollars left over. I can use that several thousand dollars to buy my rate down on the new interest rate when I refinance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is your bucket of money that you have available to you can use for whatever purpose, whether that's owing less money on the home, using it to cover closing costs on the refinance, using it to cover rate buy down on the refinance. You will never not see the benefit of those dollars. Whereas it is very possible you won't see benefit from the 13,000 that you pay for the permanent buy down. I'm not
Unless you,
saying it doesn't work for some customers, it absolutely does. But these are the discussions we as loan officers have with our clients to make sure that we're plugging in them not into just any buy down, but the buy down that we feel is best for them for their financial situation.
So in order for the permanent buy down to make sense to do that over a 3-2-1, a 2-1, or a 1-0 buy down, I would need to remain in that home almost 4 years to recoup the funds that it costs to do a permanent buy
Well,
down.
not even remain in that home, you need to remain in that mortgage for
Makes
4 years.
Got
Makes sense? So the bet that we're taking with a permanent buy down, if we're going to spend $13,000 to buy a rate down, the bet that we're making is the market is not going to give us this rate or a better rate within that 3.5 or 4 year time frame that we need for that buy down to pay itself off. As a mortgage advisor in today's market, I would not encourage customers to do that if these are the actual numbers we're looking at, because I do believe the market is going to give us that better interest rate within that time
And it's
horizon.
already started since the last video we posted.
Without going into too much detail, guys, and I'll go back here to the camera so you can see us talk, have this discussion. I really think that we're in a market now where the Fed has not raised interest rates the last several meetings that they've had. The overall consensus in the marketplace is that we expect the Fed to keep interest rates the same. They were paused. We're done with the current cycle of rate hikes. And then the next step is after the Fed raises rates like they have, we always expect the Fed to start cutting interest rates. Now, whether that rate cut is 6 months from now, a year from now, a year and a half from now, that will depend on the economic data and the numbers that we get. But what we had a poor jobs report on Friday of last week. We've already had announcements from people like Citigroup and things like that where they're cutting jobs and they will the layoffs that they're offering are higher than what we anticipated. I think this is kind of we're on that edge of the cliff now where the Fed rate hikes have done what they're supposed to do. It's slowed the economy down. It's pulled the inflation out of the economy that we were expecting. But then the other side of that is if it slows down too much, the Fed starts freaking out and they start cutting interest rates to stimulate economic activity. Well, guess what? Cutting rates, lower rates, that's good for mortgage rates too, right? It changes the fundamentals of the economy and pushes us back into a market where rates should be lower than they are, generally speaking, versus before we had high inflation, rates should have been higher than. So that's where the Fed stepped in to mitigate that. So
The fortunate part for me is in the situation that I was in when I purchased the home that I'm currently living in. I had a higher interest rate because I did a bank statement loan.
Uh-huh.
I refinanced the bank statement loan. You guys refinanced it for me, and I locked in a very good interest rate. So and that took no money out of my pocket to do a refinance.
Right.
My the equity in my home continued to grow,
Mhm.
and my appraisal came back where it needed to be, so that I could refinance my home, no out of money pocket.
And I love that you said that the equity continued to grow. Rusty, was your equity affected at all by the interest rate you had on that loan or the mortgage you took out to buy that property?
No,
The home
no.
appreciates in value.
Yes, it does.
The way you got equity was because you bought the home.
You're exactly right.
And yes, you had to take a higher interest rate to do that,
That's right.
but you bought the home and now you've seen equity growth. Guys, we are not expecting the market to slow down at all when it comes to home prices. Everything is still pointing towards home prices are trending up and we expect that to continue. So I always tell people, it's the classic story. When's the best time to plant a tree? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago.
That's right.
The second best time to plant a tree is today.
That's right.
Buying a house, the best time to buy a house? Absolutely. We can always look at the past. Dang, I should have bought a house in 2009. Dang, should have bought a house in 2019.
That's right.
That was the
That's right.
best time to buy a house. The second best time to buy a house is right now today because you can start taking advantage of gaining the equity. Are rates higher? Absolutely, rates are higher. We've got tools here to help you with that. But guess what? When rates come down, and they will, and we're expecting it, we expect more people to enter the market. Prices are going to go up. And yeah, you'll save on the interest rate, but you're going to be paying more for that house that you're looking to buy. So, best time a few years ago, absolutely. Second best time right now.
You're exactly right. And back in the day when people were paying 50 to $100,000 over asking price, it's better to have a higher interest rate, pay what list price or better right now than it would be to pay 100 grand more than what the list price is to get into a home.
Absolutely. And those people not only they have to pay more, we were waiving inspections, we were waiving
Yes,
appraisals. People got in the house and then find out, oh God, it rains and my basement floods.
yes,
Like I know someone that
yes.
actually happened to. So guys, don't decide that today's rate market has helped even the playing field between buyers and sellers. And that's why buyers, like on our spreadsheet here, Rusty, that's why buyers can look for or ask for or negotiate this $11,000 incentive right here. See what I mean? We couldn't get that before in the
No, we
other
could
market. There
not.
was no way.
No.
So, you guys work with agents, work with people who have your best interest at heart. They want to show you, how to get into the market, the best way to get in the market, professional negotiation to get you the best deal on property. But understand, everybody who waited to buy a home in 2019 wish they would have bought in 2019. Everybody who waited in 2021 and bought in 22 wish they would have bought in
You're
2021.
exactly right.
And we're going to have this same conversation. There's people who's discussing right now, I want to try to be in a home before Christmas that didn't do it. When they do buy a home in spring of next year, they're going to be saying, dang, Jay, dang, Rusty, I wish I would have bought that home back before Christmas in 2023. That's where this market's headed.
Well, I went to a broker leadership summit in Chicago, which talked about interest rates are coming down. They're going to drop. And the gentleman that always predicts what interest rates are coming down to, it's going to be a very aggressive market come March, April next year. Very aggressive.
I think the best way to lock in equity now is to buy now, and then you'll see your home values increase while other people are fighting for the homes in the market, but you've already locked in your
Yes.
prices.
And then if you buy a home now, do a 3-2-1 buy down, you can refinance it in the next 6, 8, 10, 12 months and lock in a better interest rate.
It's always available. It keeps flexibility in the loan product. And obviously, guys, if you have any questions on any of this, give me a shout. Give Rusty a shout. Rusty, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Buy sell 770-882-9069.
And we'll get that posted on here, guys. My office number here is 678-552-1513. Any other closing thoughts, man?
No, time to buy.
Hey, love it. Hey, man, appreciate it. Thanks for coming
You're
by.
welcome, my brother.
All right, man. Hey, guys, if y'all have any questions, need these numbers ran for a specific property, hey, Jay, hey, Rusty, I'm not looking at 449, I'm looking at 350, or hey, I'm looking at something that's more expensive at 700. Do you have anything for that? Yes, we do. Give us a shout. We'll get some numbers together for you and see how we need to structure your personal deal to make home buying work for you in today's market.
I love it.
Appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, give us a shout.